All right. Okay. Let's take a moment. We always want to let go of where we were before class or our practice today. So, comfortable seated position, sitting on a blanket or a block allows your hips to open up a little bit more. Whatever's most comfortable with the legs and the arms, Indian style, kind of a fake lotus, a half lotus, hands on the knees, face down or up or in front of the hips. This is going to be about how you can relax right now. So we want to close the eyes. Find the center position so that your head is over your heart and then your hips. We're lifting through the crown of the head, but then we really let those shoulders hang down nice and low. We inhale through our nose, filling the upper lungs, the lower lungs, and the belly. Exhaling through the nose or mouth, whatever feels most comfortable. Try to relax the space between your eyes. Soften the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders. Maybe you drop the chin towards the chest slightly. It might help relax the neck area. Thoughts may come by and we're just going to let them be. Just let them go. Bring your focus back to your breath. Remember, this is the time you've carved out for yourself. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do except this beautiful yoga practice to start your day. We're going to inhale and then exhale, sigh, let those shoulders hang down just a little bit more. Letting a smile wash over, we'll inhale and lift those arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands come down in front of the heart, dropping the chin towards the chest. And then inhale, reach the palms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Starting with some nice gentle twists today. We'll take that right hand across the left knee. Left hand behind the hips, fingers point to the side direction. Remember, we want to focus on lifting and lengthening through the spine, and then exhale to turn and twist. Always nice, gentle openings, especially in the beginning of our practice today. Relax the shoulders down. It's your choice if you'd like to look to the side direction or turn and twist and look over the shoulder. Remember, we want to listen to our bodies throughout practice. So if anything ever hurts, we're going to immediately ease off of that, find a new position, or just relax for a moment. Leaving that right hand where it is, we'll take the left palm across to the other side. Lift and lengthen first, and we're going to fold forward from our hips, but try to keep them connected to your mat. Relax the head down, find length through the lower back, and stretch the arms around the knees. So palms around the knees or to the floor, reaching, finding a nice stretch around the shoulder blades. Two more breaths, really sink those hip bones into the earth. And then inhale and come up, release the arms, roll the shoulders back. Take a deep breath, find your center position first, lifting through the crown of the head. And then we'll take the left hand to the right knee or even the thigh. Right hand behind the hip, fingertips point to that side direction, lift and lengthen, and then turn and twist, looking just to the side or completing full twist, looking over the shoulder. Remember to relax the shoulders down and just gently twisting, always focusing more on length in the spine than any twist or forward fold we may do. Deep breath. You might notice your breath changes. when we're in a twist versus a neutral position. We just want to try to breathe all the way down to the belly still. This time leaving the left hand where it is. Take that right arm across to the other side. Lift and lengthen and then fold forward. Keeping those hips connected to the ground. Relax the head, neck, and shoulders. Reach around the knees or down to the ground with the palms. Focus on opening that lower back area as we fold into the hips. We're also reaching to stretch the upper back. And release on an inhale coming up. Relax the arms, roll the shoulders back. Take a moment, lift through the crown of the head, let the shoulders hang down. And release. We're going to stretch out the legs. We're going to do a different side fold today. So move that blanket or block to the side, stretch the legs out. Nice and wide, whatever feels most comfortable. Move the legs, point the toes, curl them. Maybe you want to roll the ankles or you move the legs from side to side. Stretch them out for a second. And we're going to keep that right leg where it is, and we're going to bend the left leg in to meet it. So foot to the thigh, pressing in, give yourself a solid base to lift out. If we're going to curl back those right toes, take the right forearm to the thigh, and then lift that left arm overhead. Now, if we feel good here, we have that left palm facing the ground, length through the fingers. You can take the right hand to your left knee and turn and open a little bit more. But we want the focus to be on length from your left fingers all the way down through your hip. Remember to keep those right toes curled back. Give yourself a nice solid base to lift out of. Really find that length through the side body here. One more breath. And then release, coming up. Ground the left hand, right arm comes overhead. Bend into the elbow here. Find that length through the side body. Always trying to keep our hips connected to the ground. And then release. Come back to center. Stretch out the left leg. We're going to insert a little forward fold here first. So curling back the toes, or maybe you point them, lift and lengthen, and then just tilt forward from the hips a little bit. Everyone's going to move at a different length. Not my best pose. Just a little fold so that my back is nice and flat. And I'm just feeling a nice stretch through the hamstring, folding from the hips. And then we'll release. Come back up. Right foot comes in this time. So press into the thigh. Lift up nice and tall. Remember, left toes curl back. We can take the forearm to the thigh and then take that right hand overhead. Remember, avoid that bend in the elbow, length from the fingers down the side of your body. And again, if you'd like, left hand to right knee this time. Lengthening a little bit more. Maybe you turn and twist and look up. Personal preference. Remember to take care of your neck. We just want to take it easy, finding that length through the side of the body. Check in on your left toes. Are you curling them back? One more nice deep breath here. Maybe you reach a little bit more and then come up. Release. Ground into that right hand. Left arm extends overhead. Remember, bend into that right elbow. And release. Come back up. This time we'll bring the base of the feet together. So nice butterfly stretch here. How close you bring your hips or your heels to your hips is up to you. We can have a lot of space or draw them in. Find a comfortable position. Lift through the crown of your head. Make sure you're sitting on your sit bones nice and even. You can hold here. We could combine our breath by exhaling and pressing the knees down. Inhale and release. Or if you'd like, fold forward from your hips ever so slightly, leaning into it. Remember to avoid that rounding of the back. Always a nice flat back. And then folding hands around the toes if you'd like, or thumbs to the balls of the feet, fingers to the outside to peel it open. We're going to take a few breaths here in whatever way feels good for you. Remember to let go. Always finding length through our whole spine, really using that rotation in our hips to lean forward if that's our choice. If we're sitting up nice and tall, really try to stack the head over the heart, over the hips. And release, come back up. Bring those knees together. Stretch out the legs one more time. We're going to stretch them out straight this time. Take a moment, move the thighs to the side, find your sit bones. Remember, hips, knees, and ankles are in alignment. We curl back our toes so we have a nice solid base to lift out of. Sit up nice and tall for a second. You can bring those hands to the side. We're going to inhale and lift the arms up. So lift up, find length through the fingers, and then gently fold forward. Nice, just gentle reach. Arms come down, hands on the shins, reaching for the feet, whatever's comfortable. Remember, again, we're focusing on our lower back here, so we can bend our legs if that feels good, and bring the arms underneath. It's going to be personal preference. 2 more breaths. And release. Coming up nice and tall. We're going to bend our legs, and we're going to come onto our hands and knees for a moment. So if you want that extra bit of padding, take that blanket you were sitting on, roll it out, give yourself that extra bit underneath the knees. Coming onto the hands and knees, we're going to warm up our spine a little bit. Remember, when our palms are on the earth, we want the fingers spread nice and wide, trying to get every inch of the palm on the mat. Really align your wrists under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Let the tops of your feet hit flat on the mat, or as flat as is possible. Now, choosing whatever works for you, the first thing we can do is relax the spine down, tilt the hips up, look up on an inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, navel to spine, hunching and rounding the back. We can continue with this cat and cow variation. We could come back to tabletop and tilt our hips from side to side, or wag our tail. Or we can bring our hips towards our heels in a big circle, moving one way and then the other. We're going to take a few breaths here. So I want you to listen to your body for a moment. Do what feels good. Maybe it's flowing from one thing to another. Maybe you find that one position needs a little bit more love than another. So maybe you hold. Taking a few more breaths. Again, moving in whatever way feels good. So maybe there's a spot on that circle that you feel, oh, that feels really good. I'm going to hold for a second. It's opening up our bodies. Everyone's different and every day is different. Two more breaths here. Moving in whatever way feels good. And then we'll come back to tabletop. Today we're going to do something a little bit new. It's a little bit challenging to bring our leg forward, but we're going to do our best. Shift your weight back into your left side so you can pick up your right leg. We're going to come into a high lunge. So however you want to get there, we're going to try and shimmy that foot forward. We can stay right here, okay? You could come up if that is good. Remember to move slow, okay? We want to have 2 lines, so don't bring your foot on one line so you feel wobbly. Bring it out to the side of your mat. If you can, scoot it a little bit forward, wiggling those toes. Lean into it. So we're opening up that left hip as much as possible. Try to avoid having the knee past the ankle. Now, so many options here. We can stay here, hands on the thigh. If you want that extra challenge, bring the arms up, reaching through the fingertips. If you really want to press into your hips a little bit more, you can try and bring your hands down to the mat. Now, your foot will really need to go out to the right side here. Remember, if you're coming with your hands down to the mat, avoid kicking your knee out to the side. or into the center, try to have the weight centered on your right foot. Now, wherever you are, remember, I understand this is challenging for all of us, okay? Try to breathe into it. This one's a little bit different, so we really want to feel that length through the hip, lift through and out of the hips through the crown of your head. 2 more breaths here, okay? Really dig deep. Remember, we're going to move slow, so if the hands are on the mat, we'll just gently kind of shift some weight back and come up. Let the arms down if they're in an upper position. If you can, try and shift back. This is going to challenge your balance. Now we can keep that foot connected and just challenge our balance. Or if you can, try and curl back your toes, moving nice and slow. Again, we can stay here. Or if you want that extra bit, fold forward towards your right foot. Now again, remember to avoid the round. Find length through the lower back and the spine, lifting up and fold from the hips. And then we'll release. 1 more breath. Coming up, relax the arms, relax the legs. Remember to be safe, so maybe we have to put the hands down, moving slowly, okay? We're going to come to the other side. So we're going to shift our weight to the right. Maybe we come back a little bit, bring that left leg forward. Nice and easy, okay? Again, we move that weight in. If we can, use the toes and wiggle that foot forward as far as you can. All right. So many options. Again, find your balance. Make sure your left foot is towards the side of your mat, not in the center. You can stay here with the hand on your thigh. We could try bringing the arms up overhead. Okay. We could also try bringing the hands down to the earth. Remember to bring that foot to the left. One side might feel more difficult than the other. Remember, we want that length through the front of the thigh and the hip. We lean into it. Really try to keep that right foot relaxed on the mat. Lift up nice and tall. 2 more breaths. Remember, I'm right here with you. We're all here feeling that stretch through the front of the hips. 1 more breath here. So again, if the hands are on the mat, we're going to move slowly, coming back, shift that weight back a little bit so we can come up, releasing the arms if they're overhead. Nice shifting back of your weight, stretching out that left leg. So find your balance. Remember, this is wobbly. Curl back those toes if you can, or just focusing on our balance here for a moment. And your choice, if you want, reaching forward, extending, and then relaxing the head down. Remember to avoid that round. Nice length through the back. Feeling that stretch through the back of the leg here. Nice opening. 2 more breaths. And then release. Okay, so move slow. You can move that weight forward and ground. You could move to the side. And we're going to take a nice rest here. So bringing that knee back. You can keep the knees in line or take them out wide to your mat, and then child's pose. So hips to heels, relaxing down. We can take our fists and stack them to rest our forehead. We could extend the arms out long. If the knees are in line with the hips, you can also take the arms around the legs, palms face up next to the feet, relaxing the whole upper body. Wherever you are, use the forehead on the mat or your fists as a cue to relax the space between the eyes. Resting. Feel the hips shoot towards your heels just a little bit more. Finding length in the lower back. Feeling the hips soften and open with each breath we take. Every time we enter into a twist or a forward fold, especially child's pose, use this as a cue to check in on your breathing. Feel the abdomen expand into your thighs.
Nice deep breaths. And then feel it fall away as you exhale. 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to inhale and come up onto the hands and knees. If the knees were wide, bring them back under the hips. We're going to move into thread the needle. So we're going to ground the left palm, checking in with our alignment first. Lift that right arm up overhead. We're going to take that left palm and bring it, or right palm and bring it across the body, palm facing up. We're going to bend into the left arm. Now it might feel a little difficult. You have to twist from your upper body, reach that right arm through and lean in on the shoulder. We're going to rest on the side of our head. And then the left arm has so many options. We can extend it out and reach through the arm. We could relax it down so that the forearm is on the mat. Or we can take it around the back and reach for the thigh. Wherever you are, I want you to bring your hips towards the right. The natural thing is for the hips to go towards the left on this side as we turn and twist. We want to bring them to the right, evening them out nice and level. Trying to relax as we open up our back and shoulders. Might feel it in the hips a little bit. Take 2 more breaths here. And then we release that left arm, no matter where it is. We draw the palm so it's close to our face, and then we can push up. And we're going to extend the arms out and just fold into it. So keep the arms long, press into the palms, draw your hips back a little bit, and reach out, relax the head down. Finding length in the shoulder blades. And then release, come back up, realign your position. Bring the palms under the shoulders. This time, left arm extends up and out. So reach it up nice and high. And then the palm faces up as you extend the arm through. Reach that arm nice and long. Then we try to fold into our shoulder. We can always tuck a pillow or a blanket underneath. Rest on the left side of your head. You can reach that right arm out. Relax it on the forearm, or bring it around your back, reaching for your thigh. This time, bring your hips to the left, trying to even them out from side to side. Remember to breathe, full belly breaths all the way down. Full exhales, navel goes towards the spine. 1 more nice deep breath here. Release that right arm. Relax it, draw the palm towards your face. Press up. Reach the arms out 1 more time. Reach the front of your mat. Extend the arms and then press into the palms, shooting the hips back towards your heels. Nice big extension through the spine. And then release. Coming onto our knees, we'll bring our palms back. We're going to push our hips the other way. So sitting up nice and tall. Bring the hips over the knees. Hands to the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, pressing out nice and long. So feel that stretch through the front of the leg. If you have some yoga blocks, great opportunity to lean into them. If a full wheel is in your practice and you want to bring your hands to your ankles, feel free. Keeping our head in a neutral position. You can look up, but remember that can cause some strain on the neck. So we really want that focus to be on the front of the hips here. 2 more breaths. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together, press out with the hips, and then release. All right, we have done quite a bit of work on our hands and knees. Let's turn. Give us 1 more forward fold before we come and lay on our mat. So take those blankets or towels to the side. Come on to your sit bones. Move your thighs for a moment.
Hips, knees, and ankles in alignment. Curl back the toes. Take a second, roll the shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to take a deep inhale as we reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Relax the head down. Remember, most important thing is length through the crown of the head. Always folding from our hips more than we're rounding from our back. Proper alignment gets us so much out of our yoga practice. We really want to accept where we are today, knowing every day is different. And let's release. Inhale, coming up. Let's bring our knees up so then we can take our palms to the side, shift forward. We're going to come and lay on our back. We're going to take a moment here, do something a little bit different, come down onto your backs, and then we're going to bring the base of our feet together. So take a moment, lift the hips, get that lower back as close to the ground as possible. Then bring the base of your feet together so that the knees butterfly open. So we're using gravity to help with this opening of the hips. Remember, how close your heels are to your hips is up to you. We can have a lot of space. We could have it close. Personal preference. Listen to how your body feels. You can rest the hands on your belly. You could have the palms up towards the sky, quite some space between your arms and the side of your body. Remember, yoga is such a personal practice. We really want to make it our own and listen to what's going on with our bodies. Taking a few more breaths here. Where can you relax a little bit more? Can you let your shoulders hang closer to the earth? Maybe you can let the weight of your legs pull your knees a little bit closer to the earth as well. If the hands are on the belly, really feel that rise and fall. Bring your attention to that movement in the body. Meditation is just simply the act of focusing in on something, that being our yoga practice and our breath today. We'll gently come back. If you'd like, bring the hands to the outsides of your thighs to bring the knees together and up. And then we'll bring them into the chest. Lengthening out our lower back, hug it in nice and tight. If you'd like, you can rock from side to side. You might find a little bit more length through your lower back here. Taking another breath, really hug the legs in nice and tight. And then release. Let your feet hit the ground. We'll take a moment here. Check in with your alignment. Lower back's flat on the mat. Moving the hips, make them nice and level from side to side. We're going to take the arms down next to the side of your body. Palms will press into the earth, as will the shoulders. They're nice and close to the side of the body. Your fingertips might brush the backs of your heels. That does not quite matter. We want you to have the shoulders and palms pressing into the mat, lower back too. We're going to lift one knee and then the other. If you can, we can curl back our toes and press the heels to the sky. We could also just bring our feet in a neutral position so that the toes point towards the sky. We're reversing blood flow, so the knees would be bent if the toes are pointing the sky. If you want that extra stretch here for a moment, grab a belt or a strap, bring it to the base of your feet, and then no matter where your legs are, curl back your toes and use your arms to help pull your legs higher and higher until eventually you get the heels over the hips here. Remember, wherever you are, keep that lower back as close to the mat as possible. Taking 2 more breaths here, really focusing on reversing that blood flow. We do so much standing. And now we'll release. Bend the knees, bring the feet back to the ground. We're going to press into the feet, the palms and the shoulders.
Remember, our chin's always lifted towards the sky here. Nice neutral neck. Entering into a small bridge. Lift the hips up, the lower back, and then the middle back off the mat. Squeezing the glutes, lift the hips up as high as possible. Remember to breathe. Check in on that neck as the chin lifted towards the sky. 2 more breaths here. Maybe you choose to lift a little bit higher. And then release, lower back down. Draw the knees into the chest. Hug them in nice and tight, finding length in the lower back. And then release. Bring the feet to the mat. Make sure that lower back is flat on the mat, nice and even between the hips. Bring the arms down the side of the body so they're touching the side of the body. Press into the palms and then the shoulders. Chin still lifted towards the sky. We'll lift one knee and then the other. Your choice. Curl back the toes, kick the heels towards the sky. Use that belt or just have nice bent knees. Toes point up towards the sky. Lower back flat on the mat, reversing blood flow for a few breaths. Wherever you are, make sure it's comfortable. Whenever our breath changes, that means we need to release something in our body. Relax into the pose. Don't push too hard. And release. Bend the legs back down. One more small bridge. Remember, hips, knees, and ankles in alignment. If you have a yoga block, great opportunity to put it between your knees. Press into the palms and shoulders, chin lifted up, and then lift the hips, lower and middle back off the mat. If you'd like, you can stay here or lace the fingers behind the back. Allows you to squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift up just a little bit higher. Two more breaths, almost there. Release, release the arms, let the hips come back to the mat, and then knees to chest. Hug them in nice and tight. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you circle the knees. And we're going to come into happy baby pose. So if you know what that is, bring your arms to the inside of your knees, palms to the outside, reach those fingers around the side of your feet, heels to sky. We can also take that strap, take it to the balls of the feet one more time. Make it even from side to side, nice and long if you can. Spread the feet nice and wide. And then use that strap to pull the feet down so that your knees come towards your chest. Remember, we want to relax the upper body. If you want, you can rock from side to side here. Might feel good. You can just hold. Try to find length through your lower back here if you can. I know if you're new to yoga, this pose does feel different, but we want to try and enjoy it. Lots of opening in our hips here, lots of opening in our lower back as we draw it closer to the mat. If it's in your practice and you want to straighten your legs for a moment, feel free. Taking 2 more breaths here, trying to enjoy that sensation in the hips. And then release. Release the arms, release the legs, draw the knees into the chest. Hug them in nice and tight. We're going to do one more hip opener, bringing the hands around the knees. We're going to roll to one side. So roll your body all the way over so that you're on the side of your knees and your head. And then let your leg open. So the hips open and the weight of that leg opening rolls you across to the other side. Close the legs. Open one leg. Feel that weight pull you across to the other side and roll over. So we're using the weight of the body to help open up the hips. We're massaging our back as we move from side to side, gentle opening of our body. Few more breaths here. We'll do one more round from side to side. And then we'll come back to center. Hug those knees in towards the chest. And then let the feet hit the floor. Take a moment, realign your position. And we're going to come into those beautiful twists. Hold them a little bit longer today. So, arms out like a T so that the palms are flat on the mat or the ground. Relaxing the shoulders down or bending the elbows, and then the palms come up to the sky like field goal post or cactus, whatever's good for your visualization. Press into the palms and shoulders if they're on the ground. Lift the hips or enter into a twist that you like. I lift them, move them to the right. Then we take the knees to the chest, and then they hang across to the other side. Remember that right shoulder will peel up off the mat if the knees are to the left. We want to try to stack our hips vertically here. The more we do that, the more that shoulder is going to come up off the mat, but we're getting the most out of our twist here. So you might have some space from the side of your body to your mat. Remember, we can keep our head in that neutral position, or we can turn and look to the opposite direction. Wherever you are, take a moment, resting the eyes. Try to relax everything in your body. Just let the gravity do the work in this twist, allowing your body to soften with each breath. Two more breaths here. Where can you let go a little bit more? And then we'll come back to center, moving nice and slow. Lift the hips. If you'd like, draw the knees to the chest, hugging them in nice and tight. Feet hit the floor. Arms out one more time, like a T with the palms facing down, or a cactus with the palms high towards the sky. Lift your hips or enter into your favorite twist. Move your hips to the other side, knees to chest, and then opposite side. Remember, that shoulder will peel up off the ground. Really try to stack your hips. Get that vertical stack going. Every day is different, so take a moment, acknowledging where you are, giving yourself grace, and just enjoying the moment. Few more breaths here. Really try to let go. Again, let gravity do the work. Few more breaths. And then release. Come back to center. Nice and slow. Lift the hips, bring them back to center. Knees to chest, hug them in nice and tight. And then we'll stretch out the legs. We can enter into our final resting pose from here. Or if you'd like, we can challenge ourselves by tightening every muscle in our bodies. Feet are at least hips distance apart, if not shoulder width. Curling back the toes, we'll take the arms out to the sides, palms up, and we'll make a very loose, gentle fist, and we'll press our middle and ring finger into the center of your palm. We're activating meridians in the body, the fire and water energies. Curling back the toes, press into the center of your palms. We'll lift the head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground first, engaging the core. Then we'll lift the arms a couple of inches off the ground, and then the leg. You're balancing on your middle and lower back. We're tightening every muscle in our body. Big push here for 3 more breaths. Really engage the core. Press into your palm, kick those heels out. And then on your next breath, a big inhale and a big sigh of an exhale to release. Relax everything back to the mat. Let your palms open towards the sky. Feet dangle to the side as we fully relax our body. Remember, this final resting pose is just as important as everything else. Especially after doing twists, we want to give our body a moment to reabsorb the energy that we moved around, to rest and relax after all of that movement. Soften the space between the eyes. Again, relaxing the jaw, neck, and shoulders. The limbs feel heavy into the earth, and we just enjoy the moment. Remember, it's natural for your mind to wander. We just want to keep bringing our focus back to our breath. We can even place one hand on the heart and one on the belly to feel that gentle rise and fall. We're using the breath as a point of meditation to let go of each thought. As it comes in, it goes out just as quickly. Taking a few more breaths. Where can you relax just a little bit more? If you have the time, feel free to stay in Shavasana a little bit longer. Otherwise, join me in wiggling the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. Reach the arms overhead like it's first thing in the morning. Reaching from the fingers down to the toes. And then release. Lift one knee and then the other. We lift the hips and move them to one side so we can roll over. We can always pause and take a breath or two here. Then we use our top arm to push us up into a neutral seated position, taking it nice and easy. Taking a few breaths, finding the center. Maybe you roll those shoulders back, relax the eyes. Remember, hands are in whatever position is comfortable for you. Depending on what you have going on today, maybe you just enjoy the Zen here and just sit and relax. If we have things to do, we want to bring some energy into the end of our practice. Lean forward, we'll circle. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, rounding the back. Trying to keep those hips connected to the ground. We'll do 3 circles one way. Connecting our breath with the inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And then we'll go the other way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Or just nice, deep belly breath. 2 more breaths. Maybe you want to hold that last exhale, really stretch through the back, and then release. Let a smile wash over as we inhale, lift those arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands come down in front of the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a great holiday. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Great job today.